Welcome. This is the September 18th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd like to start the meeting by saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's decision will be published in the Record Journal on Friday, September 22nd, 2023. The effective date of your variance will be Friday, September 22nd, 2023. The date a certified copy is recorded on the land records. The statute on Sunday, October 8th, 2023. If you commence operations and/or construction during the appeal period, you do so at your own risk. Voting tonight is Bob Gross, Tom Wolfer, Bob Prentice, Karen Harris, and myself, Joe Russick. If anybody is here for variance request 23-020 for 17 Jenna Road, that has continued until the next meeting, which is on October 16th. So first variance request is 23-018, a variance request for Chandler, 14 Tankwood Road. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, we do, Mr. Chairman. We have staff comments that read as follows. Applicant seeks side yard of 14 feet, where 20 feet is required and 14 feet exists to construct an approximate 91 square foot addition to attached garage at 14 Tankwood Road in an R18 district. Existing attached garage is already located 14 feet from side boundary. Proposal is to expand the existing single-bay garage 6 feet forward by the 15.2 feet width of the garage. The existing garage predates zoning and is currently non-conforming with respect to side yard to the west. Therefore, any expansion of any size requires variance approval to construct.
Thank you. Welcome. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Greg Chandler, Gold Shield Construction. I'm at 1224 Worthington Ridge in Berlin. I'm here representing 14 Tankwood Road.
Okay, please explain your application.
Yeah, so basically just like what was said in the information, we're just looking to bring the garage forward 6 feet. Currently, the garage is only 20 feet deep. We're well behind the house as far as going forward. We'll still be approximately 14 feet behind the front of the house, which is well behind the variance going forward. We're just over on that 5 feet, 4.5 feet to the side yard. So currently, as you all know, a 20-foot garage, they can't even fit a car in it.
Right.
So they're just trying to do that, along with the fact that the house was built in the 50s. We're trying to structurally, make it a little more sound and add a few supports to do all that.
Okay, so it's mainly just to make the garage usable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they currently, like I said, the garage is literally inside measurement is 19'4". They can't even fit a car inside the garage.
And the hardship is that it predated zoning.
Yep, it was all predated. Yep.
Okay. Has anybody got any questions for the applicant?
None for me.
Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody here to speak against it? Hearing, seeing none. Do you have anything further you'd like to add before I close the public hearing?
No, I think we're...
I'm going to close the public hearing and open it up for discussion and possible action by the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve 22-018 Tankwood Road, the variance request for a side yard of 14 feet, where 14 feet exists and 20 feet is required to construct an addition to attached garage at 14 Tankwood Road, as shown on zoning location survey prepared by Patricia Cooley, 14 Tankwood Road, dated July 1st, 2023, and submitted plans received July 24th, 2023.
So moved.
Motion to approve, Mr. Gross.
Yes.
Mr. Wolfer.
Yes, approve.
Ms. Harris.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Prentice. And Chairman Ray.
Yes, approved.
Yes, your variance has been approved. Good luck.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next variance request is 23-019, variance request for Komal, 895 North Colony Road. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have staff comments that read as follows. Applicant seeks side yard of 5 feet where 20 feet is required to install 8 vacuums with 8-foot booms at 895 North Colony Road in an RF40 district. Applicant received special permit approval for 4 vacuums of 4 feet height in August 2010. Although current 4 vacuums are located 5 feet from side boundary structures, 8 foot in height require compliance with setbacks, and the addition of more vacuums and alterations to the site will also require continuing to Planning and Zoning Commission for a revision to the special permit following any determination from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Applicant has already installed the 8 new vacuums and removed ADA compliant parking per confirmed referral and pictures provided this office in June of 2023. Applicant was advised of violation and subsequently has submitted this variance request in companion special permit revision to the Planning and Zoning Commission for the Zoning Board of Appeals and PZC's determination whether hardship exists and alterations to site are viable to approve the after-the-fact construction. That's it.
Thank you. Welcome. Please state your name and address for the record. Pull the microphone up nice and close to you so we can hear you. There you go.
Jeremy Grossman, 6 Laurie Lane.
My name is Tom Minogue, M-I-N-O-G-U-E. I'm counsel to the applicant.
Okay. Please explain what's going on.
So we added vacuums, we added the booms. We didn't realize that the booms were non-compliant until we were told. We didn't realize that anything over 8 feet and tall we had to get a variance for. We knew the setback of 50 feet. We were never told about side yards. So as soon as that was brought to our attention, we filled out the application to get the variance so we could put have the booms there for our customers and make it easier for our customers to vacuum out their cars.
Okay. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I would have probably thought the same thing in your shoes, but we've dealt with some car washes lately. I learned about this way before this came, right? But we normally frown heavily about doing stuff prior to coming in front of us. But I'll be honest with you. If I owned your car wash, I probably would have done the same thing because I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that 8-foot boom was a violation, but it is. So
We were in contact, and because, like I said, we were going to make other changes, and we were looking to do the 50-foot setback, and we couldn't do it because 50 feet setback from the road, we would not be able to put these in. So we're like, okay, we already have the vacuums there, and there's no problem with where they are, so we're just going to put the booms up, and thinking there was no problem with it.
Okay, but you did. Once you found out you came and talked to Amy.
As soon as I was actually seeing Amy for something else in the office, and she showed me the pictures, and I said, okay, go give me everything I need, and then we started all the applications immediately.
So you have to go to the Planning and Zoning after this.
We've already started all that as well.
Okay. Has anybody got any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I have a question. How are you making out with the handicap parking for people there?
That's on the special permit for the next meeting where you're relocating that space to, there's parking spaces. If you've been to the car wash, there's
Yeah.
parking spaces behind the oil change bay.
Yeah,
where we're going to relocate the handicap spot right there.
just one handicap spot?
That's all we were required.
That's all you're
On
required?
the initial.
Okay, okay, thank you.
We also I have a letter here from the property owner on both sides of us saying they have no issues with.
Want to submit that to us?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I can give you this also. It's what the actually vacuums look like. They're not gaudy. They're not bright in color.
We have pictures of everything.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're
Yeah.
not bright. They're just stainless steel
Mhm.
with black hoses and very simple.
Anybody else got any questions for the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chair, through a question for staff. Amy, has the ADA requirements been satisfied currently?
They are not satisfied currently because of the removal of the ADA space.
Oh.
As well as adding the vacuum, the space has been removed, the striping for mobility purposes, the width of an ADA space, and it is yet to be approved. Whether or not, that being the more egregious.
That's P and Z, next meeting for them, right?
They will have to, any site modification at all
Okay.
requires planning and a revision to the special permit.
But
So
they don't
even
have
though
to-
we added so now that we have movement of a space, that's in the purview of the Planning and Zoning Commission to determine whether or not that is sufficient. The only question now is we now have 8 vacuums that have to follow setbacks. So there was a parking reconfiguration that also accompanied it, but your purview is just where the vacuums are in proximity to the boundary line on the side, where, there's a lot of speaking of the front boundary with 50 feet, but there's also a side and rear boundary to adhere to. So,
Thank you.
Right, so just for everybody, we're here, this application in front of us is for the vacuums. I mean, even though the mention of the parking space for the handicap, that's for planning and zoning, for them to come go in front of next, but we're here to determine about the vacuums. Go ahead, Bob.
So essentially what they did was,
Turn your-
they added, this might not be on. They added 4 more vacuums also, because that's us or planning and zoning.
That's us, so
Okay.
we're approving where they put the
4 new
vacuums.
vacuums. and
Right,
the height-
we don't
and
have
the
any,
height.
the parking issue is.
No,
for
I
the
don't
next
care,
meeting.
but the height is also us?
Yes,
Okay, so it's the 4 additional vacuums and the height of those vacuums.
Right.
But you didn't know to come before us, even though you had to get permission to put in 4 vacuums before,
I didn't think there was an issue at all.
to add on 4 additionals?
No.
anything else? Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Is there anybody here to speak against this application? Do you have anything further you'd like to add before I close the hearing?
I think I've said everything. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing and open it up for discussion and possible action by the
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve 2319 Komal at 895 North Colony Road. Variance request for side yard of 5 feet where 20 feet is required to install 8 vacuums with 8-foot booms at 895 North Colony Road, as shown on site plan 895 North Colony Road, prepared by Mark Komal, dated July 28, 2023.
Second.
motion to approve, Mr. Gross.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Wolfer.
Yes, to approve.
Ms. Harris.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Prentice.
Yes to approve.
And Chairman Russick.
Yes, your variance has been approved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next variance request is 23-021 for Biehl for 21 Grieb Trail. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have staff comments that read as follows. Applicant seeks building coverage of 22%, where 15% maximum is permitted, to construct an 864-square-foot detached garage, 21 Grieb Trail in an R18 district. The parcel is undersized for the zone as it predates zoning. Existing building coverage is at maximum before addition of the proposed garage. The board may want to suggest a possible condition of approval to be removal of existing shed in favor of ample detached garage for storage and housing of motor vehicles, which will lessen the building coverage request.
Thank you.
John Biehl, 21 Grieb Trail.
Please explain your application.
Yes, I'm looking to, we have very small part for storage, and just over the years with the weather and stuff, we like to cover our garages. We're financially being able to do it now. And, you know, as for taking down the shed, I don't have a problem with that.
You're-
With that,
would-
yeah,
You're going to take it down?
yes, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. And the garage is going to be used for just your
Yeah,
storage?
just our cars and lawnmower and stuff like that.
Okay, and no commercial use?
Oh,
or
no,
anything?
no.
Okay.
I'm going to be retiring soon.
Anybody got any questions for the applicant? Go ahead, Bob.
Good afternoon. Was there a garage on this house before?
No, there was a portable, portable garage, if you want to call it that, you know, a canvas thing.
And you closed
And
it in?
that's, yeah, no, it wasn't
Oh.
enclosed, it was
Oh,
open.
I'm just looking at the house on the right-hand side, because there's no windows on the side of the house. So I was just wondering if that was
Yeah.
a garage at one time.
Oh, no, no,
Okay.
no, that was an addition 30 years ago.
Okay. Thank you. Is there no way to move the garage behind?
It's going to be behind my house, our house, toward the back.
So it's not going to be next to your,
No, no, it's going to be in the back. We have enough setbacks on both sides and back, and we're far enough from the house. So we don't have a issue with that. It's only,
By the drawing, it looks like it's going to be 13 feet behind the house?
yeah, I can make it 14.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 13.7, looks like
Yeah.
it's going to be behind the house.
This just concerns coverage on the lot.
Right, this
Not
is,
Yes.
right,
setbacks.
right. This is, we're just talking about coverage in this application.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, point
Go
of
ahead.
order. It has come to the attention of the office, following your packets. We have had complaints, and it builds upon Mr. Gross's question. Canvas garages are still considered buildings.
it's
So-
down.
So there is quite a bit of outside storage and stuff, so I would amend any potential motions to include any sheds or other structures.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, we're replacing that with the garage.
So that, they're called, what, coverets or whatever they're
Yeah,
called back in
yeah.
the day? That's
Which-
gone already?
Oh, yeah, it's been gone.
Okay, so the only thing that's left on the property, but we probably, that probably be part of the motion, is the shed?
Correct.
Okay,
I drove by there right before the meeting. I didn't see anything else.
okay, very good. Anybody else got any questions for the applicant? Bob, you all right down there?
nope, fine.
Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody here to speak against it? Hearing, seeing none, do you have anything further you'd like to add?
No, I'm pretty much said it all.
Okay. I'm going to close the public hearing and open up for discussion and possible action by the board.
Chairman, I have another question to staff.
Go ahead.
Amy, on those restrictions, one being
Pull the microphone closer.
removal of the existing shed, and you mentioned any other
Or
cover?
I would make that plural, accessory structures or sheds, because that cannot come back either.
Oh, I got you, okay.
But whether it's portable or not, that being a condition of approval. The garage replaces any outbuildings of any sort.
Got it. Thank you.
Make a motion.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve 23021 Biehl at 21 Grieb Trail. Variance request for building coverage of 22%, where 15% exists and 15% maximum is permitted to construct a 36 by 24 detached garage as shown on limited property boundary survey zoning location survey, land of Maryland and John Biehl, 21 Grieb Road, Grieb Trail, dated August 2nd, 2023, and plan submitted, received August 16th, 2023, subject to the removal of existing sheds.
Yes.
Second.
Motion to approve, Mr. Gross.
Yes.
Mr. Wolfer.
Yes to approve.
Ms. Harris.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Prentice.
Yes to approve.
And Chairman Russick.
Yes, your variance request has been approved. Good luck.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next variance request is 23-022, variance request for Berthold, 99 Seiter Hill Road. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have staff comments that read as follows. Applicant seeks side yard of 12 feet, where 20 feet is required, and 25 feet exists to add a single-story, single bay, 13 feet by 22 feet, to attached garage at 99 Seiter Hill Road in an R18 district. As is customary, the board should discern any hardship and evaluate whether any alternative detached or other structure may enable compliance.
Thank you. Welcome. Please pull the microphone close to you and state your name and address for the record.
Sure, it's Matt Berthold with 99 Seiter Hill Road.
Okay, go ahead, explain your application, what you want to do here.
Right, so we are looking to add a single bay, single story garage onto the existing home.
Yep.
So it's attached. For the purposes of storage, number one, of vehicles, storage of, children's toys and lawnmowers and snow blowers and all sorts of stuff. But also with the purpose of trying to expand the maneuverability of the existing garage. So right now it's, very cluttered. We need to move things around.
Could you, so we can hear you,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Right, so due to some medical conditions that I have personally, it's a little hard to maneuver around with almost 3 kids now with toys and vehicles and such, and we're going to be adding a different vehicle, a larger vehicle, to the garage as well. So we're looking to expand, add that extra bay to give us more flexibility. And unfortunately, with the way that the driveway is pitched, it makes it difficult to kind of access the vehicles and store things outside, because I can't just leave them, lying around, unfortunately. So, and as to the point about the, if it was detached in a different area of the property, we're also looking to make some modifications to the back of the property in a totally compliant zone to actually move the area that I currently use as a work-at-home office to that floor to make it easier for me to move around on the bottom floor, keeping it, on one story of the home, so I don't have to keep going up and down, unnecessarily.
Okay, so it's currently a 2-car garage,
That's correct.
and you're going to make it a 3-car by adding this on.
Correct.
So, problem is, we're having, or I see, is the hardship. And it usually runs with the land.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we're there's in the backyard of the property right now, we have a playscape that is on a pad that is not movable, and there's also an existing concrete slab that used to house a shed. And unfortunately, in order to put the garage in the backyard or anywhere in the back of the home, it would be on a kind of like an angle or some kind of undesirable spot. So putting it on the side of the house was the best option available at the moment.
Okay, I just have one question. It's just, in your application, you're saying you're recovering from some injuries and everything else. Do
That's
you
correct.
have handicap accessible cars or anything for?
No, nothing like that. I do have like ADA accommodations for my work
Okay.
that if needed I could dig up and provide, but it was due to a car accident like many years
Okay.
ago, unfortunately.
Very good. I just saw it in that, and very good. Has anybody got any questions for the applicant?
Bob does. Question on the size. The reason they're here, Amy, is because they want to go within setbacks are going to be. So if you just want it for storage, instead of making another car, can't you just add on to the garage?
We could. except for as it's documented here, we have 25 feet available. I'm required to have a 20-foot setback, so I would only be able to go up to 5 feet of anything without requiring a variance.
Right.
Right, so that, in order to do all the work, it would make more sense for us to just have the full bay, because as I mentioned, we're going to have 3 children, which eventually means more cars and everything to compound matters, unfortunately. So that's why, based on all the, workings of what we could accomplish in the backyard, it wasn't feasible, and the full bay is really what we were looking to do, which, by the way, also leaves ample room to get around the home, so there wouldn't be any kind of accessibility issues for, any other trucks or vehicles to get back there for whatever reason.
I don't know, you do have a shed on the property. Do you know how big your shed is?
That's correct. Off the top of my head, I don't. I think it's approximately 10 by 12, maybe. It's not terribly large.
Yeah, I can only see the side of it. I'm just questioning putting a third garage, beating this, and breaking the setback on that side of the house, when you can move stuff to the back. So that's my issue with it.
Yeah, right now the shed is holding items that we use specifically for the backyard.
You don't-
Furniture, tables,
Okay.
such and such, so we don't really go back and forth too much.
What's that, Bob?
I'm sorry.
Anybody else got any question for the applicant?
No.
We're good? Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody here to speak against it? Hearing, seeing none. Do you have anything further you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
I'm going to close the public hearing and open up for discussion and possible action by the board.
Chairman, make a motion to approve application 23-2299 Seiter Hill Road, variance request for a side yard of 12 feet where 25 feet exist and 20 feet is required to construct an additional garage bay to an existing 2-car garage as shown on plot plan lot number 41, Seiter Hill Road, dated June 28, 1983, and submitted rendering received August 16, 2023. So moved.
Second?
Motion to approve, Mr. Gross.
No to approve.
Mr. Wolfer.
Yes to approve.
Ms. Harris.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Prentice.
Yes to approve.
And Chairman Russick.
Yes, your variance request has been approved. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next up is 23-023, variance request for Arico, 42 Carr Street. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, we do, Mr. Chairman. We have staff comments that read as follows. Applicant seeks variance for building coverage of 17.39%, where 15% max is permitted and 15% exists in order to construct a single-story, approximate 412 square foot living space addition to the rear of the dwelling at 42 Carr Street in an R18 district. Parcel is undersized and dwelling is non-conforming with respect to side and front setback. Building coverage is 15% existing, maximum allowable for the zone. Proposed addition is located compliantly on the property, yet an addition or structure of any size on the lot will exceed allowable building coverage limits.
Thank you. Welcome. Please state your name and address for the record.
Jeffrey Arico, 42 Carr Street, Wallingford.
Please explain your application.
So the size of my family is expanding, and we just need a little bit more living space.
Okay, so you're just going off the back,
That's correct.
and this is going to be a family room, or?
So it's actually going to end up being a master bedroom.
Okay.
And it will give us a little more room for the kitchen, because the existing building that's there right now is coming completely off the house, and it's going to go, straight back, the addition.
And these are all what, raised ranches in that neighborhood?
Yes, they are. They were built in '56.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Has anybody got any questions for the applicant? Bob?
Yeah, I have a question on the application. to the board too. The application says can't afford to buy another home in today's market. So that sort of makes it a hard financial hardship.
Well, but, so hardship goes with the land?
Right.
So, I mean, he put that in his application, but that's not. But I mean, he meets all the setbacks, he's just
Well,
here
I
for
understand that.
coverage. Right,
Yeah.
so. Anybody else got any questions? Go ahead, Bob.
So basically, it's just an additional, but it's within the parameters.
Yeah, he's within the setbacks.
Within the
Just-
setback
It's just the
parameters.
coverage,
Just the coverage.
that's all.
Total coverage.
Right. Okay. Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody here to speak against it? Hearing, seeing none, do you have anything further you'd like to add?
No, I'm just a lifelong resident, and I just want to make it my forever home.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to close the public hearing and open up for discussion and possible action by the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve 23-23 Arico at 42 Carr Street. Variance request for building coverage of 17.39 where 15% exists and 15% max is permitted to construct a single-story addition to dwelling rear as shown on 42 Carr Street. Property survey prepared by Jeffrey Arico dated May 16, 23, and submitted proposed floor plans received on August 17, 2023, and proposed elevations received September 11, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve, Mr. Gross.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Wolfer.
Yes to approve.
Ms. Harris.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Prentice.
Yes to approve.
And Chairman Russick.
Yes,
Thank you for your
variance
time.
request has been approved. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Next variance request is 23-024, variance request for Arico Jr., 181 North Colony Road. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have staff comments that read as follows. Application is for front yards of 24 feet on Rembert Street and 33 feet on North Colony Street, where 40 feet is required to add a coverage patio/deck to the building at 181 North Colony Street in a CA 12 district. Parcel is a corner lot and currently used as a restaurant on the ground floor. Applicant would like to construct a covered patio/deck to the rear of the business, which encroaches into both front yards of this corner lot. The existing building in its entirety is located in the front setbacks, thus necessitating variance request for any attached addition for same. Patio deck is approximately 360 square feet and is proposed to be located on an existing landscaped area within the parking area.
Thank you. Welcome. Please pull the microphones close to you and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you for the welcome. My name is Joseph D'Arico, and I'm 181 North Colony Street in the Hard Hat Restaurant.
Hi, good evening. My name is Richard Fontaine. I'm the engineer for the applicant, and my business,
Yeah, pull the microphone close to you so we can hear you.
and I do business as Rich's Civil Engineering.
Thank you. Please explain your application.
Well, we took this location over, I took it over as the Director of Operations 2 years ago. John Akinfor owns the property still, and so what I've done in the last 2 years is clean up this environment over there and trying to make it more of a restaurant than a bar. And I'm very concerned going into the holiday season in the colder weather that we don't have enough seating to accommodate the people that go in there, because when we hit COVID the last 2 years, it really decimated our business, and a lot of people don't like to be confined inside. So I came up with this idea of putting a small enclosed patio. When I say enclosed, I just mean a roof over the top of it, because I don't like umbrellas, so that we can use that as an alternative dining space. Plus, people have asked us over the last 2 years if we could put something out there so people could enjoy outside dining in spring and summer. You should know, and I think it might interest you, that when I took over this location as a director of operations, we were doing only 40% food and 60% was liquor, beer, and wine. I've elevated that to 58% food, so we are moving in that direction to be a more
Pull it closer to you so we
to
can.
be a more family-orientated environment, and we are getting that in there. Plus, I've done a lot of work on the outside, cleaning it up, landscaping it, making it look more like a restaurant. But I need this extra little space on the side to make that work economically, and that's why I'm here.
So it's going to be off the back, and it's going to be handicap accessible and everything else, correct? Because you have already, there's a ramp to get in there, correct?
It will be handicap accessible, 100%.
And just for my own, how many tables do you think you're going to put out there?
Maximum of 10.
Yeah. Well, outdoor dining is huge today.
Yeah.
And, I don't blame you for exploring and trying to do it. Has anybody got any questions for the applicant? No?
I was looking at it. Are you going to, so it's in the grass area?
Ish.
Okay,
There's like a
that's-
little island where you see are you looking at a satellite picture of it?
No, I went out there and took pictures.
Okay, so there is a step down.
Yeah.
Okay, where those steps are, there's like a little island with, I put 3 little bushes in there. So it's going to impede on half of that, if that's what you're asking. And the rest is already just black-topped area.
We'd be taking one parking space away,
Which parking space?
the one next to the handicap. The handicap will remain.
So what about the grease and the where you keep your storage for your waste?
That's on the other side.
Okay. What about the entrance to the, from Rembrandt, you also have the storage buildings there.
Correct.
Not going to impede that driveway?
Not at all.
No. No.
How close are you going to get to it?
We're just to the edge of the travelway.
What does edge mean?
It's
Does that
about a
mean-
12-foot, it has about 12 to 14-foot travelway that it could pass through the vehicles for the storage.
So to Amy then, how large should that passageway need to be?
It's not a matter of the passageway at this point. If they're making site modifications, this may or may not have to go to planning and zoning, but it will be an administrative function because it is a slight change. However, it should be noted, and perhaps I should have put this in staff comments as well. Today, we are superseded by Connecticut law, which allows outdoor dining by right, without zoning. So he could put tables out there without a deck or a patio anywhere he chose.
On his property?
On his property. So the fact that he's adding a sort of a permanent addition to account for it is why he's here, because it's in the front setback. But he would be entitled to put tables and chairs exactly where this covered patio is going.
So he could literally take his parking lot and just put 10
But
tables
zoning
there,
has been removed for outdoor dining, correct?
and it doesn't affect the number of parking spaces or anything like that anymore?
The zoning requirements have been removed for outdoor dining.
This
So,
has nothing with you guys, I'm just.
this is it was a result of the executive orders in place from the governor,
From 2020 and now they made it
through the
permanent.
COVID, and now it is a permanent public act.
Changes what I'm,
So it may alter your question. So
May alter-
this being a minor
well, essentially,
permanent adjustment,
so essentially, if we were to vote it down tonight, he could still go out there tomorrow and just put out 3
That's correct.
tables and chairs and umbrellas. He just couldn't build a structure.
that is correct.
So by building a structure, it might make it a little nicer.
And it's permanent, and the entire structure today is in the setback. So if they added, 2 feet, it's going to require a variance. So that's where we're at. But you are correct. If we denied him, he could avail himself of the
We could just do it. So
of the outdoor dining.
So then this is not, So even if it's a safety issue, even if they were to block a driveway?
This will go on to planning and zoning,
No,
most
I'm
likely
talking
for.
about the governor's, the state.
Oh, well, of course, they setbacks, parking lots, as you see about town, sidewalks, they're all free game for outdoor dining, with minus some access for mobility purposes. They need a certain distance of access for folks to maneuver around in handicap or otherwise. So yes, it's because it's a permanent structure that they're looking for a permanent.
Yeah. I can tell you, it changes my vote, so.
Just, I should have clarified that. So.
Thank you. Anybody else? No. Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Anybody here to speak against it? Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jack Oliveira Jr. This is my mom, Maria Oliveira. She lives on 96 Meadow Street. It's one of the properties behind the parking lot at Hard Hat. She basically just kind of turned down what I was here to say, but my parents have been there since 1978. Might have cleaned it up a little bit, but my parents still have to call the Wallingford PD at least twice a month. That's where they smoke out there at 12, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. The noise is insane. And now this is just going to quadruple the noise, where their bedroom is in the back of the house. So I know we know times have changed since 1978, but, the noise is just insane. If we could go get records from the Wallingford PD, they've been out there numerous times. The noise stops for 10, 15 minutes. Wallingford PD leaves. Noise starts right back up.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. You have anything further you'd like to add, sir?
I haven't had the Wallingford Police Department there for anything within the last, I think they've only been there once in the last 2 years, and it's because I called them, because we had some ruckus, and I had security there that we paid for the last, not this last year, but the year prior to that, so we could help clean up some of that rowdy crowd.
Sir, please. I mean, if you want to come back up to the microphone, you're welcome to, but please state your name and address again. But
My name is Jack Oliveira. I'm speaking on behalf of my mom, Maria Oliveira, and my father, Jack Oliveira Sr. The Wallingford PD has been out there. If we can get records, I don't know if they go inside, but they smoke out there all night. And we know we can't do anything about noise. People talk, people laugh. They throw bottles, they throw cups, they throw whatever it is. I don't live there, so I don't see what they throw. They tell me. So maybe the cops haven't been inside, but they've been outside, unless they're lying to us. Unless they tell us they haven't been out there when they call, sorry. So that's not true. They've been out there within the past 2 years.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I don't deny that. I just am unaware of it, and I'd like to know if they have been out there, because it's, we have cameras in there. We see what's going on. We can't stop people from smoking outside, and we want to be a good neighbor, so we'll do whatever we have to be a good neighbor. I have elderly parents, and I don't want to see this nice lady have to deal with some of the things that are associated with a place that was a heavy bar influence, and it was, and he's probably very accurate in what he's saying. And when I got on board with them 2 years ago, that was the first thing we attempted to do. We spent a lot of money cleaning it up inside. We didn't spend some money. We spent a lot of money cleaning it up inside. And I encourage you to go in there and look at it and get a feel for the place. And we have eliminated a large percentage of that crowd. But this gentleman is probably accurate, and there's a small amount of that still lingers, but we do everything we can to eliminate that. And we spent a lot of money trying to eliminate that, and I think we've accomplished a lot in 2 years.
So
And we are actually, I might add, that we are not open late anymore. We close down at 12 o'clock, and we want to be out of there by 12:30 on the weekends. There are people still there cleaning up until 1 o'clock, but we don't want that late night crowd.
Well, I'm hearing all this, and I understand what they're talking about, and I can imagine, I'm not nothing against your business, but I mean, So what if we put a restriction that you can't use the outside after 10 PM?
I mean, I would be open to that. I mean, we want to be compliant, we want to be nice neighbors. We're not
Because then
looking
that
to-
would at least,
Listen,
know-
if I can close that place down at 10 o'clock at night, it would make me happy. I don't like being open late.
right,
because-
and I mean, you could, I think 9 might be just a little bit early if you have a dining crowd. But I could see putting a restriction at 10 PM that you can't use the outside after 10 PM, just so that, the owners do have, that live back there. I just think that could be respectful and probably help the situation for the noise and everything else. I mean, I know you can't control people that are outside in the parking lot talking and everything else. There's only so much you can control, right?
I think that's just part of the reality of that. The
Right,
house is
right.
close to it's right there.
Right, but I mean, as far as to try and help for the neighbors and everything
100%.
else,
100%.
I think, what's everybody else think? Anybody got any discussion? Amy, you got anything you'd like?
Just to build upon this, first of all, once again, what we're looking at is setback only with the ZBA. However, no harm, no foul to add your conditions. What I would suggest to the neighbors is to submit something in writing to the Planning and Zoning Commission that may accompany an application which will follow this, even if it's administrative. And they can impose the conditions, whether there's some barriers, something to protect the neighbors, those conditions of hours, etc. So it does not hurt to add them here, but just this purview is only for the setback.
Yeah, I understand.
And I would invite the neighbors absolutely to do that. So there's something formal that the Planning and Zoning Commission can evaluate when they're looking at the site change as a whole and the impacts upon
But
the
it won't
site
hurt
and the
for us to
neighborhood.
add that in our,
But it doesn't hurt to add it,
Okay.
I would want to invite the folks to be able to do that, because that's where the other elements of a revision to a site plan and any conditions, whether it be hours or, again, some barriers, fencing, screening, something would occur. But it doesn't hurt to have you put them on there as well.
right. Well, I was just trying to look out for the neighborhood a little bit, that's all.
Perfect.
Okay, since we've been through I'm going to close the public hearing and open up for discussion and possible action by the board. Go ahead.
I have a question for Amy. Amy, I know this doesn't have anything necessarily to do with, we're going to perhaps put a motion and perhaps vote on. When I heard the complaint about the smoking, I'm just wondering, is it possible to have a space even outside that's smoking is not allowed?
That's out of the lane of both ZBA and Planning and Zoning Commission, but again, something to buffer
Got
the
it.
activity could be added by the Planning and Zoning for, fencing,
Yeah.
trees, planting, something, hours. That's for them to decide how they can sort of, assuage some of that, but no, that is
Yeah. I was-
certainly nothing we can, that we can infringe upon.
I was just curious. I know
Yeah,
we go plenty
and
of
same,
places
and there are noise
where there's
ordinances
signs,
as well. And yes,
but-
it is unfortunate when there's a residential zone abutting a commercial zone. There's going to be some of that, but what can happen potentially, they can evaluate to mediate that. So,
Thank you.
We can put it 10 o'clock, can't use it after 10. If we want to, it's up, yeah. I would like it myself. It just would reinforce what we'd like to see out of planning and zoning.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve 23-24 Arico at 181 North Colony Road. Variance request for front yards of 24 feet and 33 feet where 0 feet and 40 feet exist, and 40 feet is required to construct a covered patio as shown on site plan, land of Robert L. Rogers Sr., North Colony Street and Rembrandt Street, dated August 1994, and revision dated September 29, 1994, and subject to no outside dining after 10 p.m.
Second.
Motion to approve, Mr. Gross.
Yes.
Mr. Wolfer.
Yes to approve.
Ms. Harris.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Prentice.
Yes to approve.
And Chairman Roser.
Yes, your variance request has been approved. Good luck.
Thank you, and I'll do whatever I have to.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's closed. Thank you.
you.
Tom, you had something about the minutes.
Yes, before we get into the minutes, through you, Mr. Chairman, a question for Amy. I have a question on that newsletter that was accompanying the packet,
Okay.
and on the back page, it said workshops. I noticed that, I knew that before this came up and we needed to have this completed by all of us members by the end of 2023. Does that apply here, or is this for next year?
Oh, it would certainly apply. And this is an alternative, I think, has been raised before as something we could do, arrange to have them come and speak, maybe with a joint group of Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals, just have them come one time, but would serve as your education requirement, and it also would be informative, hopefully. And so, yes, this is absolutely one avenue and if that is what the board would like to do, I can explore some options to set up.
Do we need to put a motion together for that, or can you just
No,
handle
you
that?
don't need a motion for that. You just need to tell me that you would like to explore
Yes.
it, and I will look into it and see what we can do and communicate with you all to see. if
Well, I
that's
know a few of my colleagues have already completed their.
Yeah, let's not talk about that tonight, all right? That's a sore subject with some of us.
But, yes, Amy, can
But
you?
even beyond that, this is a particularly useful group that the Federation of Planning and Zoning Agencies, that might inform you anyway. It might be some helpful stuff that has come up in the past aside from the requirement, so it could be a twofer.
Can you check into that?
I certainly will.
And I'd be interested.
So, Tom, are you good with the minutes?
Yes.
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, after reviewing the minutes, I make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
Seconded.
All in favor?